Marmots. They're playful, scrappy, greedy, sleepy, watchful, and very sociable. Marmots, the Alps' cutest animals. For the next 3 years, we'll follow the adventures of a marmot male, Mox, in a secluded valley. When a power struggle ejects him from his clan, Mox faces a turning point. In heavenly wildflower meadows, marmots must battle against the hunters, the wolves, the eagles, and the foxes. And aside from defying nature, their greatest challenge is founding a family. April 8th, 2,000 meters. A marmot is a miracle of nature. After 6 months hibernating, he clears 3 meters of earth, blocking the exit of his subterranean chamber. Then digs a tunnel through the snow to the surface. He's the dominant male, the first of his family to emerge. 200 meters lower down, another male is poking his nose out of the snow. Still groggy, he sniffs the fresh air and returns to his slumbers. Thick snow kept the colony warm this past winter. All the marmots of the Grand Combe have survived. A few meters from their parents, 3 pups fill a second exit. Many marmot organs shrink during hibernation, but their reproductive organs grow. As soon as they wake, the priority is reproduction. Unless the young come soon, they'll have no time to build up fat in the 6 months left before winter. A marmot female is only receptive 1 day a year. So the dominant couple, the only ones permitted to mate, waste no time. The male makes his intentions plain, and they retreat to the burrow to copulate. One month later, in a chamber in the main burrow, after a gestation period of 34 days, the mother has given birth to a litter of 4 young marmots. Naked and blind, Mox is a young male, weighing 30 grams. The mother only leaves her offspring to forage for food. When she's away, she covers them with hay. A wolf circles the marmot burrows, sniffing out the occupied ones. But how to outwit a marmot's panoramic vision? It stands just above the burrow, the best place to take its prey by surprise. It's the marmot's only blind spot. But there's no sign of movement, so it gives up. "30 minutes later, the marmots gather on the mound of the main burrow. The male grooms the female. He cleans where she can't reach, and they exchange their scents. Play adds social bonding too. At 4 weeks old, Mox still hasn't left his birth chamber. June 15th, the alpine ibex give birth. The mothers form a nursery to care for the young. But when a young kid strays from its mother, it soon attracts the attention of a golden eagle. Here on the cliff, the eagle has a nest, an eyrie, and an eaglet to feed. And it's less than 2 kilometers from the marmot's burrows. For a few days, the eagle puts less pressure on the marmots. But when the ibex kids become too heavy and agile to catch, the raptor will return to hunt them. The mother marmot won't let anyone else near the birth chamber. For a month, her relatives must seek alternative burrows. Raising her young alone, she has no time for play. She feeds and returns to the burrow to suckle and warm her young. The retinas of a marmot's eyes are composed entirely of cones. This gives perfect vision in daylight, but poor sight in semi-darkness, and none at all underground. To help find its way in the dark burrow, the marmot has sensors. Its brain analyzes signals from the long whiskers on its cheeks, eyebrows, and chin to navigate each obstacle in real time. And now it's time for Mox to open his eyes to the mysterious world beyond the end of the burrow. is 40 days old. Thanks to his mother's milk, he has increased his birth weight tenfold and now weighs 10 ounces. The next day, he accompanies his sister to the strange world outside. Upon his first incursion, Mox must rapidly acquire essential skills, including identifying alarm calls and distinguishing between allies and enemies. A fox has just caught a juvenile marmot. Predators show no mercy for the careless. The marmots can safely coexist with chamois and ibex, which are among the herbivorous species that share their habitat. Contrary to popular belief, there is no sentinel among marmots. Each individual expresses fear and thereby contributes to alerting others of danger. Mox is a member of the clan, and although inexperienced, he emits a series of characteristic whistles to sign the presence of predators such as foxes or humans. The juvenile marmots remain in the vicinity of their den and will complete weaning in approximately 20 days. A friendly sparring session is being set up on the median strip. Living in a social group comes with certain limitations. Play behavior, highly prevalent among young individuals, tends to decrease as individuals age. Scratching and dust bathing are important behaviors for removing parasites from the plump body of the animal. Unlike juvenile marmots, adult individuals are constantly scanning their surroundings for potential threats. A single uniform vocalization signals an imminent threat. The eagle is capable of high-speed dives exceeding 125 miles per hour. The Earth has undergone 3 billion years of evolution, leading to the establishment of life. Following the last glaciation, the recolonization of high-altitude lands by alpine flora occurred. The mountain presents a variety of contrasting environments, such as suspended valleys, sunny slopes, windy ridges, and arid rocks, each of which has given rise to specific adaptations in the resident plant communities. Glacier buttercups, edelweiss, moss campions, trumpet gentians, anemones. Below, there's a stunning array of flower-strewn meadows, some of the most beautiful in the world. Mox is presented with a wide variety of plant species during his walks, offering luscious stems, tasty leaves, and flowers aplenty. He explores and selects from among the available grasses and legumes, carefully rejecting those that don't suit his palate. Without a doubt, this meadow is home to some peculiar beings. With his adept climbing skills, Mox's father reaches an observation post overlooking the nest of these mountain birds. The common rock thrushes have migrated across the Sahara to return and breed at their birthplace. This bagworm moth caterpillar has constructed a protective armor to avoid becoming prey for birds. The main burrow, with its 6 entrances, hibernation chamber, and extensive tunnels, serves as the central hub of the vital territory, where all the significant events of the last 5 generations of the Marmot clan have occurred. Every July evening, Mox and his family gather atop this reassuring hill before retiring for the night. This vantage point provides a panoramic view, an unparalleled watchtower. Every summer, the shepherds return with 1,000 sheep to the territory of the Marmots. Max is concerned about the presence of the Pateau dogs. Until the mid-20th century, mountain dwellers used various methods to catch marmots. Trapping, capturing young marmots by hand, and digging them up before winter led to the disappearance of marmots from many mountains. The meat of marmots, highly valued since prehistoric times, often served as the only fresh meat for alpine herders and their dogs. Their fur was used to make coats and blankets. Their fat was used for lighting, greasing shoes, and making balms that were thought to cure rheumatism and lung diseases. Times have changed. The marmot is no longer of much interest to hunters. Trapping and commercialization are prohibited. The herd only passed through. The shepherds, who have managed to shear their 1,000 sheep, plan to come back later. The marmot's warning call failed to work this time. The vixen, too, has to feed her cubs. She has just crossed the boundaries of Mox's family territory. She is moving rapidly. Her 4 cubs are waiting for her. One of the marmots couldn't make it to its burrow in time and had to settle for a 3-foot deep hole facing its predator. The entrance to the burrow is too narrow for the vixen, who is also wary of the formidable incisors of the marmot. The vixen lies down near the entrance. Wait and jump on it is a technique she has already tried, but she is not in the right position, and in the game of patience, the marmot has the upper hand. The fox gives up. September has arrived, and with it, the first frost. The time of abundance and juicy plants has passed. The northern wheat ear has put on its autumn plumage. As every year, it has built its nest on the marmot's territory, where insects are abundant. It is preparing to undertake a migration of several thousand miles to winter in equatorial Africa. The northern wheat ear holds a record for its category. Its Alaskan congeners also winter south of the Sahara for a migration of over 14,500 kilometers. The temperature dips below freezing at night. The grass has yellowed. With the onset of frost, life began to shift. Everyone grazes on what they can, but there is no turning back. This adult conforms to the marmot's law, having doubled its weight and now weighing 5 kilograms. At 5.5 months old, Mox has achieved his maximum weight of 1.5 kilograms. His growth will pause during the winter, and he will not reach his adult size until he is 3 years old. The days are getting shorter. October 3rd. The first snowfall arrived in the mountains. Winter is long up there. Only a few species can withstand the cold and scarcity thanks to remarkable physiological adaptations. From the summer's abundance, the ibex, the fox, and the chamois have accumulated a reserve of fat under their thickening coats. Another solution to cope with winter is hibernation. The time of cold and ice has come. Snow has melted on the south-facing slopes. The preparation for the big sleep must be meticulously carried out by the marmots. They have constructed a snug nest 20 feet below ground using more than 10 kilograms of dry grass. Hibernating together enhances their survival prospects. This season, 2 subadults have departed from the clan, leaving a total of 7 marmots spanning 3 generations. Mox, having accumulated less fat than the adults, will rely on their warmth to survive the perilous challenge of hibernation. October 10th. The marmots have entered into hibernation for 6 months. A 16-foot long plug of hay, soil, and mashed fur blocks all ventilation in the burrow, causing a gradual increase in carbon dioxide. Mox is in a state of deep hibernation. His temperature has dropped by 30 degrees. His body is at 8 degrees. Curled up among its skin, he lies motionless. His breathing is barely perceptible, occurring only 1 to 3 times per minute. His heart rate has dropped from 100 to 30 beats per minute. April. Mox barely survived. His 3 siblings did not make it. What happened? In February, a thaw melted the snow that insulated the burrow. Shortly after, a Siberian cold snap gripped the mountain, plunging the temperature in the ground. When the temperature in the hibernaculum dropped below 5 degrees Celsius, the marmot's metabolism reacted, causing them to wake up and warm up. Brown adipose tissue, abundant in hibernating mammals, was the key to this process. However, this fuel is limited and dwindles during hibernation, and the young had exhausted their reserves. Out of the 4 juvenile marmots from last year, only Mox has survived. There was an abundant snowfall by the end of February, but it came too late. Mox's patchy fur does little to hide his extreme thinness. He has lost half of his body weight. For several days, marmots do not eat and only rehydrate themselves by ingesting snow. They continue to survive on their fat reserves. In April's sunshine, the slopes are prone to instability. If reached in time, a burrow provides effective shelter to avoid avalanches. The marmots face a genuine threat from the wolf. It is only transient, and its pack hunts across a territory spanning 3 valleys. Unlike the wolf, there is another carnivore that is familiar to the marmots and lives year-round within Mox's family territory. The fox has other priorities this time, as it deals with a chamois that fell victim to the massive avalanche. Mox is hungry, but the mountain is slow to shed its snowy cloak. He's constrained to forage near the main burrow. The nearest grass is 600 feet away, but venturing towards the stream poses danger. In the summer, Mox's family has over 60 potential refuges scattered throughout their vital territory, ranging from simple holes used only as temporary shelters during travel to more complex burrows with multiple exits. It is crucial to reopen as many secondary burrows as possible to ensure the group's safety. Still, they must find, using their memory and sense of smell, those buried under the snow. Mox is overcome with an irresistible urge to play. In this display of simulated combat, Mox showcases the full strength and vitality of his species. The game comes to a sudden stop in a split second. Safety is a serious matter among marmots. This fox poses a serious threat, as it is known to be a skilled hunter of marmots. The fox is on high alert, carefully scanning the area for its prey. Its independent, pivoting ears can detect sounds up to 150 degrees, helping it locate every marmot. Its retina is equipped with numerous rods, allowing it to see in low light conditions. In this situation, these rods serve as motion detectors. Mox marks the vital domain of the clan with his scent. Each marmot carries a unique identity card in its scent glands. It secretes a complex mixture consisting of more than 30 chemical components belonging to various molecular families on its cheeks. The wolf pack has been traveling throughout the night, covering a considerable distance within their vast territory that spans across 3 valleys and thousands of acres. After a 25-mile journey, they have arrived back in a familiar valley to hunt. Mox's elder sister ventured out to graze at the foot of the steep slopes, only to come face to face with a looming wolf. The wolf's acute hearing picks up on the faint rustling of the marmot inside its burrow. By positioning itself directly above the burrow, the wolf increases its chances of catching the marmot off guard. Mox's sister stays huddled in her den long after the wolves have left. It's summertime, and the mountains are covered in carpets of flowers as herbivores roam around. Mox is helping maintain the burrows and just pulled out a marmot mummy from the hibernation chamber. Mostly, marmots that die in winter remain underground. Mox's thick fur and increasing layer of fat make it difficult for him to regulate his body temperature. When it gets too hot, he seeks refuge in the coolness of his den. A storm is brewing. Mox has already taken shelter. His older sister is running late and still on the way to the burrow. Summer has come and gone. Autumn is already here. The mountain hare and ptarmigans are changing color. Mox has doubled in weight, but the accumulation of the fat reserves may not be enough to face the winter ahead. Marmots huddle together to conserve energy and reduce calorie consumption. They only wake up every 20 days to urinate in a designated area close to their hibernation chamber. Without the warmth of his kin, Mox would be unable to survive the winter conditions. The final countdown has begun. The icy days leading up to the snowy ones mark the last leg of the hibernation journey. Mox and his family block the entrance to the burrow before going to sleep in the hibernaculum. Over 100 insects, hidden tenants, also benefit from the burrow and will have a comfortable winter thanks to the marmots. In the spring, the corpses from avalanches are uncovered. This bearded vulture flying over the Marmot's Valley is well aware of this. All of the marmots in the valley have awoken from hibernation. Mox is in good shape. Despite being capable of reproduction at the age of 2, Mox was consistently excluded from the very limited group of breeding males. This year, at 3 years old, Mox feels strong enough to challenge for a dominant position. If not in his own family, then perhaps in the neighboring one. Marmots engage in play fighting within the same family as a form of training. Mox has participated in this behavior countless times without any actual aggression. However, interactions with neighboring families are getting more conflictual. Mox uses intimidation tactics that sometimes escalate to fights and pursuits. Some marmots may choose to forego reproduction and stay within their group. Mox has a different perspective. He has decided to challenge the dominant male of a neighboring family. A real fight always elicits stress and poses risks. The fight could have been fatal for Mox as some conflicts end in death. Despite the risks, the dominant male was willing to put his position on the line. Although he could have lost, he emerged victorious. Enraged, Mox rejoins his family. He had challenged the strongest and lost. He is aware that within his own clan, no dominant marmot will yield their place to him. The next day, Mox leaves the 4 families of the colony and ventures out in search of a new territory. This is a risky undertaking. Staying within the same group would increase Mox's chance of living longer. But his decision is made, and he will not return. He has already entered the territory of another clan. When alone, Max no longer benefits from the vigilance of the colony or the knowledge of safe shelters. Mox has found a temporary refuge that provides enough protection from the eagle's predation. Going on an adventure allows for new encounters. At the top of the first larch trees he comes across, he meets one of his closest animal kingdom relatives, the squirrel. True to his species, Mox favors open spaces over forests. As he descends from the mountains, he enters territories that are already occupied, and he is consistently chased away. He has no other option but to travel through vacant areas without any burrows for shelter. He skirted the base of the orange lichen cliff. This is where those famous eagles nest, causing chaos in the Marmot Valley where he was born. Beneath the eagle's nest, Mox has come across an abandoned subterranean city. The area is vulnerable to avalanches and home to several marmot families. Mox avoids encroaching on the territory of the nearest family. The dominant male keeps any other male attempting to take his place at bay. Mox has a shelter, and the proximity of his conspecifics informs him of potential threats. The pair of golden eagles eye the dead chamois, a victim of an avalanche. Too late. A new avalanche just deprived the eagles of an easy meal. They will have to go hunting again. Later in the day, the eagle brings an old marmot from the valley who had reached the exceptional age of 14 years. Staying under the predator's nest increases Mox's chances of survival. The eagle prefers to hunt at higher altitudes, which allows it to bring back prey as heavy as itself to the nest with less effort. The territory occupied by this eagle couple is home to over 400 marmots. Without these large rodents, it's uncertain whether the eagles could remain here to raise their young. Mox has once again failed in his attempt to overthrow the dominant male. He is recovering from a bite inflicted by his neighbor. The dominant male does not appear to be alarmed by the valley's super predator. This is not their first encounter. The sight of hunting wolves doesn't trigger a rush toward the burrows. Marmots face danger when venturing away from their burrows. Positioned 100 feet behind the predators, the marmots remain watchful, poised to quickly retreat underground. The neighbors don't let anything go unnoticed. Any cause of movement, shadow, or unusual noise must be identified. The wolves, which are nocturnal hunters, adjust their behavior to the schedule of the marmots. The heart of the dominant male has just ceased to beat under the merciless assault of the wolf. This intrepid marmot had taken over the territory of its own father. This opportunity will change Mox's life. One year has passed. At 4 years old, Mox abandoned his subterranean burrow and seized the dominant position among his neighboring marmots. He is now the father of 4 juvenile marmots, 3 females and 1 male. The female with whom he has paired is 8 years old. She boasts a beautiful silver-gray dorsal coat. She is consistently the first to detect potential threats. Three fox cubs were born to the vixen, and the lone eaglet will soon take flight. As for the wolves, they are raising 7 wolf pups in the adjacent valley. Mox represents merely one link in a world that derives its strength and mystery from an incredible diversity, where every natural event has its purpose. That's how life goes in the mountains.